You're lying in bed. It's 11 p. M. The room is pitch black. You reach for your phone just to check the time, and the second the screen goes dark again, your skin prickles. The room hasn't changed. Nothing moved. You know there's nothing there. Your brain didn't get the memo. That flinch is old. Really old. And it's about to make a lot more sense. This isn't some throwback superstition. Fear of the dark shows up in almost every human culture, in every era, on every continent. Toddlers get it before they can even explain what scares them. That's not a coincidence. That's a fossil. A behavioral fossil, still running quietly in your nervous system, long after the reason for it disappeared. Here's the thing. Long before campfires were cozy, they were survival gear. At Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, researchers found ash and burned bone dated to roughly 1 million years ago, some of the earliest solid evidence that early humans controlled fire. Not just used it after a lightning strike. Controlled it. Fed it. Kept it burning night after night. That's not warmth alone. That's a wall against the dark, rebuilt by hand every evening. Picture yourself there for a second, crouched close to the flame, feeding it, watching the edge of the light like your life depends on it. It did. Around 790,000 years ago, at a site called Gesher Benot Ya'aqov in Israel, archaeologists found fire used again and again, in the same hearth spots, generation after generation. That's not an accident. That's a habit worth defending with your life. So ask yourself why. What was waiting? Just past the light? Now here's the assumption most people make. That early humans feared darkness itself, like the dark was the monster. It wasn't. Darkness was never the threat. It just hid the threat. Big cats, hyenas, whatever was circling, patient, just outside the firelight. Researchers Donna Hart and Robert Sussman spent years studying predation pressure on early hominins, and their case is blunt. Our ancestors weren't always the predator in the story. Sometimes they were dinner. For a slow, clawless primate with weak night vision, darkness was exactly when the odds flipped against them. The fear was never irrational. It was accurate. It just outlived its usefulness. Turns out, fire didn't just keep predators away. It rewired the whole day. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has argued that controlled fire let early humans cook food, which meant more digestible calories, which helped feed bigger brains over time. But it also meant something quieter, a safe circle of light after sunset. Somewhere to sit still, together, without scanning the tree line every few seconds. That's arguably the first time in human history that rest and darkness could coexist in the same space. Before that, night was a shift change. Predators clocked in. Humans clocked out badly, lightly, ready to bolt at the first wrong sound. And firelight did something else, almost by accident. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner recorded conversations among the Juhuansi of the Kalahari and found something striking. Daytime talk was mostly gossip, complaints, small disputes. After dark, gathered around a fire, the same people shifted almost entirely to storytelling, myths, memories, the kind of talk that builds trust and passes culture down. Darkness, once survived, became the setting where humans actually bonded. The very thing that used to threaten the group at night ended up creating the conditions that held the group together. Here's where it gets interesting. Even now, the body still seems to run that old night shift. No fire, no walls, no phone flashlight under the covers. Doesn't matter. A 2015 study tracked 3 groups living largely without electric light. The Hadza, San, and Simani. Their sleep still followed sunset. And dropping temperature. Not a clock on a wall. Other researchers studying similar groups have noted something close with moon phases too. More travel on bright nights, less on dark ones. Strip away modern light, and the older rhythm just walks right back in. It never left. It was only paused. You've probably felt it yourself, that odd, heavy pull towards sleep once the sky actually goes dark. But here's the question that should be sitting in the back of your mind right now. The predators are gone. No saber-toothed cats prowling your street tonight. So why does the fear still fire? Why does your brain still flinch at an empty, ordinary, dark hallway? Here's the payoff. Evolutionary biologist Randolph Nesse has a name for exactly this kind of overreaction. The smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that never ever misses a real fire will also scream at burnt toast. Annoying, but cheap. A fear response runs on the same cold logic. Missing one real predator could kill you outright. Flinching at nothing just costs a second of adrenaline. Evolution does that math, and it isn't close. Your nervous system was built to over-trigger on purpose. A few hundred false alarms across a lifetime in exchange for never once missing the one that mattered. Nobody designed it on purpose. It just outcompeted every calmer version of itself. Generation after generation. Only the jumpy ones live to pass it on. So next time you're lying there at 11 p. M. Phone screen gone dark, skin prickling for no reason at all. That's not you being irrational. That's a smoke detector. Built over roughly 1,000,000 years. Still doing its one job. In a world that stopped needing it quite so badly. The cave is gone. The circle of firelight is gone. The hush before a predator's step is gone. The nervous system stuck around anyway, quietly running its old shift, night after night, in a bedroom no predator has ever seen. If you've ever slept with a hallway light on and couldn't quite explain why, say so in the comments below. Turns out, you're in very old company. The dark never changed. You did.